18, and happy Monday to you guys. In the next 600 seconds, that would make it 10 minutes, I'm going to provide you guys with a quick update on markets such as Euro dollar, Bitcoin, gold, crude oil, and the DAX 30. Before we start, though, as always, I need to stress that trading financial markets is unfortunately risky, and there's a genuine risk that we'll lose all of our invested money. So please bear that in mind before you start trading. There's a risk disclosure link here at the bottom of tradecapital.com. And if you're new to this is a webinar we host Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. here at the live trading room. Where we provide you guys with these market updates, but as well, don't forget to check out the technical analysis section. Where I post the videos and any sort of interesting things I'm seeing in the markets. Publish them 2-3 times a day to give you an idea of what I'm looking at. As well, on the actual homepage, you have a lot of macro news and analysis. Weekly report, for example, is a good thing to read to get ahead for the week, and then you get the quarterly reports. We have this nice little political roadmap PDF where we discuss things that is not talked about yet, like the Italian election, Russian election, Mexican election, and midterms election in the US, plus Brexit, of course. So check that out. It's free to download as long as you register. Okay, guys, let's get going, and we're going to begin with the euro. So this is the euro versus the USD, and the market here is clearly bearish. So over the last few days, I said break to the downside here could take you to the downside, and we took out 123.12 and move all the way down to the targets. In fact, the first initial target was here at 122.23, and we reached these levels. And then at one point on Friday, it looked like it was going to break to the downside, but the attempt to break to the downside here was about 5 p.m. London time, and usually at that time of the day, if we have a breakout, they don't tend to get any follow through because there's very little volume at that time of the day. Most people execute their orders in the morning, that will be about 8 o'clock London time, and then around 1:30 or 2 p.m. London, that's when most of the orders are executed in the US. So after 3 o'clock, usually London time, any sort of moves tends to be less likely that we have any follow through. Now going forward, I was short here, I booked some profits down here. The market is now moving a little bit to the upside. A simple Fibonacci from this high to this low gives me all of these 4 Fibonacci levels, but what you want to focus on are these 3, and in particular the 50% correction level at 123.12, which is also the breakout level. I think if the market does go up to this level, I think traders will probably be looking to sell here again, and they're going to be selling, and I do think stop loss orders and things like that are going to be placed above 124.07. Why that level? Because it's the last really interesting high here, and below that level they trend short-term bearish. If we move along here and take a look at the price of Bitcoin, it's up nicely today with 9%. Now over the last few days I've been saying that actually not over the last few days, but since we started to trade below these levels here, the trend has been bearish. I mean, it's quite clear to see they're creating lower and lower highs, and here we had a very nice surge, so declined sharply but moved up as good, or I mean as strongly as it declined. That is definitely an indication that maybe this is coming to an end, and obviously from a technical point of view there's no real reason to change the bias right now, but keep a close eye on this high here, which is a high created on the 10th, which is Saturday's high. Now if you've been following the markets, you know the market tends to peak on Saturdays, so this is a interesting level, and I think if we take out this level, I think at that point we could potentially move to the upside, and then maybe that's it. Maybe we'll turn bullish at that point and just be bullish above this level. But for now, personally, I prefer, being bearish or trading on the sidelines, not touching this, and then waiting for this downtrend to end. And signs of that ending is if we take out Saturday's high, and definitely if we take out the high here created on February 3rd, which is Saturday 2 weeks ago, more or less. So this is Saturday high, this is Saturday high, take out this level in particular, I'm going to turn bullish. And if you want to get an early start, then maybe you can watch this level here. Here's crude. Now crude oil declined nicely. Unfortunately left us behind. As you might know, we've been bearish since we were bullish heading up here and then got stopped out here. Turned bearish. The first section here worked out amazingly well. And then the market continued to move to the downside, and then another push to the downside. And I think if you just look at the daily chart here, it's quite obvious to me at least that this market, reached some interesting levels here on the daily. So while the trend is short-term bearish still, I think it's time to be neutral and see what happens over the next few days, because if we bottom out here, it could potentially be interesting for targeting $64 a barrel again, maybe all the way up to 66. So again, we decline nicely, back at support. If we can hold above this level down here, which is 55.80, I think the market could bounce. In the short term though, I think is, at least for my liking, it's a little bit too early to get involved with the long. Of course, if we take out this high, it might go up and then down and then up again. And so I want to give this a day or two just to mature, and just let me know where it wants to go. Because right now, again, it's still bearish, but I suspect we can bottom out here. Here's the price of gold. So gold remains in a bearish downtrend as long as you're below 1,332, which is this high up here. As you know, we've been bearish from these levels up here. We moved all the way down to support, which was the first profit target. And it's a little bit like the euro. Maybe it'll bottom out, but I think at the end of the day, this needs to go down a little bit more before heading higher. And for now, I want to remain bearish below 1,332. Eventually, though, I think we should be able to reduce the stop loss to this high. I think what you want to look for is, in essence, just the end of this little uptrend that we're working with here. When that's completed, this downtrend, uptrend, when that turns bearish, I think at that point we can reduce the stop. DAX 30, look at that beauty. Nice bounce. There's different ways of dealing with this. I mean, if you watch the S&P and things like that, it had a nice, interesting setup. I mean, even here, down, up, down, and then try to force itself to the downside, but then trade above these levels to some extent ended this very short-term downtrend, a little bit like the DAX, also the S&P. But we don't even have to get involved with that if we don't want to. I think it's enough just to, watch this, which is the daily chart, which I'm just cleaning up here a bit. And I said last week that if we trade above the August low here, then hopefully this is going to bottom out. From this high to this low, the market is down with 12%. Not like a major change really for this sort of index. That's why people love it, to trade it, that is. I'm not sure buy and hold people like it too much. But unless you believe that we're heading into some bigger correction or some recession, strong economic slowdown, then I personally think it's going to bottom out above 11,861, and we already starting to see signs of this. So hopefully this is it. And again, as long as you're above 11,861, there's probably no major reason to change our bias here. And that, guys, is that overview I promised you in 600 seconds. Let me just see here if we have any questions. So if you have questions about the markets we covered, then you're most welcome to use the chat box. And obviously, just use the chat box to say hello. That's always nice. It's always nice to see here people in chat, even though it's not mandatory. I think about 3 out of 100 people use the chat box usually, which is fair. So I don't have anything here, so we're gonna wrap things up. I want to thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to hit that like button, and that will be very appreciated. I would appreciate that a lot. And as well, don't forget to share. So if you follow me on Twitter, click on the like button, retweet. Or if you yourself, talk with people in forums and chats, or have your own Twitter, please don't forget to share about this, because as I always say, the more people come, the more fun it is to do it, and the longer we'll continue to do this. So very important if you like it. If you don't like it, it's fine. It's all good. Okay, guys, have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. London time here at TradeCaptain.com. Have a good trading week.